Now this illustration 19-1 here continues showing the calculation procedure that you see in the illustration 19-1. Now notice step 1. We reference table 220.3, which refers you over to Article 440, and we would pick up 440.33 dealing with a compressor plus a condenser motor. Now it's not table 240.33, but section 440.33. Now when you do your math here, 125% of the compressor, 18.5 times 125%, plus 100% of the condenser motor, 3.2, we come up with 26 amps is outlined in 440.33. Now step 2, we apply table 310.16, and based upon the 26 amps calculated in step 1, we come up with a number 10 from table 310.16. Now step 3, table 240.4G basically states if the overcurrent protection device is size greater than 125% of the compressor plus the condenser motor, then we would use 440.22A or B of the code, see? But we do have a compressor and we have a motor, so we're going to use basically 440.22B1. Now 225% is a maximum value that we selected here from 440.22B1 and A. And notice 225% of 18.5 plus 3.2 is 44.8. Now notice there is no exception in 440.22A or 440.22B to let you advance forward above 44.8. So we round it down and we pick up in step 4 then. Based upon 44.8, the next size overcurrent device below that value would be 40 amps. So we'd have number 10 conductors, THWN, copper, and we'd have a 40 amp maximum overcurrent device size there. Now, just as an example, if your AC unit was on a roof, say, usually the 225% is always applied. And depending upon usually the part of the country you're in, you may have the maximum of 225% applied because of the heat during the summer and high head pressures that build up. You don't want nuisance tripping. Or otherwise, 175% could be used to start your evaluation. So this is usually always a 90.4 situation, the authority having jurisdiction based upon the location in the country where the unit is installed would give you these values. But now always remember that 110.3B of the code does say that the nameplate, the manufacturer's instructions must be followed, so usually your authority doesn't have any problem with what I've just quoted to you. But now, remember that 240.4D as in dog says you can't put more than a 30 amp overcurrent device on a number 10 wire. But table 240.4G states that since it's an air conditioner, yes you can. You can go above the 30 amps for number 10, in this case all the way up to 40 amps to allow the unit to operate under high head pressures and other conditions of starting and operating and so forth. So that's what this figure 19-1 is illustrating to the designer and the installer of the equipment.